Adana is a young, beautiful maiden who resides in the heart of an EO village in Nigeria. She is the only daughter of Chief DK, the wealthiest man in the community. Adana's beauty is renowned throughout the land. Some say her skin is as smooth as silk, and her eyes sparkle like diamonds. She is the pride and joy of her father. Adana was the desire of every young man in the village, and all the maidens admired her. However, despite her stunning beauty, Adana remained unmarried. It wasn't due to a lack of suitors, after all, who wouldn't want to marry the beautiful Adana, but she had a problem she needed to resolve first. Suitors came from the east, west, north, and south, kings, princes, and men of wealth and status, arriving with grand entourages, horses, and chariots. People from different tribes across the land journeyed to seek Adana's hand in marriage. But whenever they approached her, they were met with a terrifying, monstrous face instead of her stunning beauty. Each time a suitor came, he would see this horrifying visage and flee in fear. This strange occurrence repeated itself over and over with every suitor who sought Adana's hand. Suitors would flee in terror because each time they came to seek Adana's hand in marriage, they were met with the face of a monster. Rumors spread like wildfire through the village as each suitor returned home, shaken and unable to explain the horror they had encountered. The villagers were baffled, and many elderly women began to discourage their sons from pursuing Adana, believing there was more to her than just her beauty. They believed she was a monster. Adana was bewildered by their reactions, wondering what could be wrong with her. Why did suitors keep fleeing from her? She became a shadow of her former self, growing so thin that she would lock herself in a room for days, refusing to come out. Chief DK, Adana's father, was deeply troubled by his daughter's plight. He invited seers from across the land, but none could uncover the cause of Adana's misfortune. The village ladies mocked Adana, laughing at how the beauty that once outshone them had now become a curse. They reveled in the irony that the girl who had captured the attention of all the men was now seen as a monster. One day, a wise seer visited the village. His eyes were filled with wisdom beyond his years. After listening to the villagers' stories of Adana's predicament, he nodded knowingly and said, "Adana's beauty is not her own. It is a gift from the river." The seer revealed that Mary, the goddess of the 7 rivers of Ed, was behind Adana's beauty. Many years ago, Adana's late mother, Nia, struggled to conceive after marriage. Desperate and heartbroken from the constant humiliation she faced, Nia sought help from the river goddess. Mary emerged from the water and told Nia that the price for the sacrifice needed to grant her wish would be too great for her to bear. The goddess advised Nia to go home and wait for the gods to bless her with a child at the appointed time. Nia returned home, but, unable to bear the thought of remaining childless, came back the next day crying at the riverside and calling on Mary to appear. She pleaded with the goddess, declaring that she was ready to do anything required of her, as long as it meant she would have a child. Moved by Nia's desperation, Mary emerged from the water once more, and after listening to her pleas, agreed to grant her request since Nia was willing to do whatever was asked of her. Nia pleaded that she was willing to make any sacrifice, no matter how great, just to become pregnant. The goddess told her to go home and return in 3 months to offer her thanks, because by then Nia would be with child. True to the goddess's words, 3 months later, Nia discovered she was indeed pregnant. She returned to the river to ask the goddess what she must do in gratitude for blessing her womb. Mary emerged from the water, this time accompanied by her brother. The goddess informed Nia that in exchange for blessing her with a child, she must promise to give her daughter's hand in marriage to the goddess's brother, the Prince of the Waters. While Adana grew up, no man would be able to marry her, as she was already betrothed to the prince. The goddess also decreed that Adana would possess unmatched beauty, but no man could come near her because of this sacred bond. Desperate to become a mother, Nia accepted the goddess's condition and returned home, where she eventually gave birth to Adana. The seer explained that the only way to lift the curse from Adana was for a man who truly and genuinely loved her to go to the river goddess and plead for her mercy. This man would need to ask the goddess to release Adana from the betrothal to her brother, the Prince of the Waters. According to the seer, this was the only solution to Adana's predicament. The villagers were unwilling to accompany Adana to the river goddess, fearing the wrath and danger associated with her. They all turned their backs on her, unwilling to confront the problem. Adana's father grew increasingly worried. One day, a young farmer named Odinaka came forward, offering to go with Adana to the river goddess to plead for her mercy. It was revealed that Odinaka had harbored feelings for Adana from the very start, but he had kept his feelings hidden. Odinaka had not come forward to seek Adana's hand in marriage because he felt his poverty and lack of status made him no match for the other suitors. This was his chance to prove his deep love for her. The next day, Odinaka and Adana went to the river goddess Iyemeri to plead for her mercy and ask her to dissolve the betrothal between Adana and the Prince of the Waters. When Adana and Odinaka pleaded with Iyemeri to release Adana from the betrothal, the goddess emerged and told them to return home, explaining that the situation was beyond their control. She revealed that there had been a covenant between herself and Adana's mother regarding this marriage. Despite this, Adana and Odinaka continued to visit the riverside, performing ancient rituals and calling upon the river goddess to free Adana from the curse. Eventually, as the water stirred, the goddess appeared once more with her retinue. The goddess and her brother took pity on Adana, acknowledging that the fault lay not with Adana, but with her mother, who had entered into the covenant out of desperation for a child. Moved by Odinaka's genuine love for Adana, the river goddess decided to release Adana from the betrothal to her brother. Chief DK was overjoyed by the news, and Adana was freed from the curse. She blossomed into a beautiful, lively, and kind-hearted young woman, radiating happiness and vitality. Adana, once freed from the curse, was overjoyed to marry Odinaka, the man who had shown her genuine and unwavering love. Chief DK, in gratitude for Odinaka's devotion, blessed him generously. Adana and Odinaka had a beautiful wedding and lived happily ever after. The moral of this story is that true love knows no bounds and can overcome even the greatest challenges. Secondly, no matter how desperate you are to achieve something, always consider the potential consequences of any agreement before committing. Desperation can lead to decisions you might later regret. To mothers, it's especially important not to enter into agreements or covenants that could impact your child's future, as this can have lasting effects. Thank you for watching. Please support us by subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing our videos. We hope you've gained some insights from Adana's story. See you in the next video. Goodbye.